People will be taking the questions and go through those. And then we will also have a 2-minute period for the candidates to say to finish things off. Julie will be taking our time tonight, and she has 2 signs for the candidates. One with yellow and purple is 30 seconds remaining, and then the pink stop is your time is up. So she'll keep track of that and kind of let you guys know where you're at throughout the night. So with that, I will thank you all for joining us tonight. And I'll go ahead and give you guys each a minute to introduce yourselves.
First of all, thank you very much to the League of Women Voters, to the Chamber, and as well as Mason Web TV and Green Diamond. Green Diamond, not just for sponsoring this event, but for all the jobs that they have brought to the Mason County community, all the families that they've helped feed. We're appreciative for all that. My name is Randy Netherland. I'm a candidate for County Commission, District 1. Many of you I already know. Hopefully you know me because of my actions, not just because of my words. You may know me because I'm a Port of Allen commissioner. You may know me as I'm trying to bring jobs to the area. You may have heard me on the radio asking different companies to come here. You may know me because I'm on the board of directors for the Economic Development Council. Or you may know me because of my work with Habitat for Humanity on their board of directors. But however you know me, I hope you remember me by my actions, not just my words. And I hope you remember that tonight we're going to be talking about the biggest job in this county, and that experience does matter. Please take that into account when you listen to all of us tonight, and hopefully we'll represent well. My name is Randy Netherland. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Dave Hamilton. I'm also a candidate for District 1. Thanks again to the League of Women Voters and the Chamber and for hosting this event. Quite a difference from the last time I was in this room. I was here earlier this year, had the honor to be a judge for the Rotary Science Fair. And this room was just amazing. There were 180 exhibits in here and hundreds of kids. And one of the things that made me think about is look at the coordination and partnerships that were necessary in order for that to come off. Not only the partnerships between the kids, but between the teachers and the administration and the Rotary people and so on. My candidacy is about partnerships. I believe that we need to create a partnership for progress in Mason County, and I expect to have a chance to talk a bit more about that tonight. I'm Denny Hamilton, and I'd like to be your county commissioner.
My name's Travis Couture. I'm running also for Mason County Commissioner, District 1. I'm a Navy veteran. I served on the USS Alabama and the USS Nebraska as a submarine mechanic. I have earned 2 Navy Marine Corps Achievement Medals and also was meritoriously promoted while I was in. One of the reasons I jumped in this race is because of the Belfair Sewer Project that's going on. $55 million for around 200 hookups. It's unacceptable, and they're taking away our property rights to do it. I stand for individual liberty, property rights, and just constitutional principles, and big government is taking all that away from us right now. We have to start budgeting correctly. We have to look at the essential functions of government and look at our priorities, something that hasn't been going on right now. And we also need to look at funding public safety once again to better than it has so we could get some more deputies on the road. Thank you.
Hello and welcome, and thank you for the invitation. I am Darrell Andrews, running for District 3 County Commissioner. My wife Linda and I were both born and raised here in Mason County. We've been married almost 46 years. We have 4 children, 8 grandchildren, and 1 great-grandson. Almost all of our family lives here locally for the same reason that we do. We love it here. I've been involved in numerous community activities and events for the past 35 years. My work history, I started like most people did here in town, started with Simpson Timber Company, and then went to Mel Chevrolet, Mankey Lumber Company, started my own family business in 1987, The past 5 years been with part-time with our community credit union. What really has made me successful in all of these jobs that I've had is my communication skills. I would work daily with people, listening and figuring out their wants and needs and making it happen. I'm Darrell Andrews. Hope to get your support. Thank you.
Good evening. Thanks everybody for coming. I'm Kurt Bennett, candidate for Mason County Commissioner, District 3. I'm a lifelong resident of Mason County, and I've had the good fortune to be partnered with my wife Joan for 39 years here. Our children and our grandchildren live here, so we're very deeply rooted and committed to Mason County. I've spent 45 years working in the construction industry here in Mason County, the first half as a blue-collar worker and the second half as a small businessman, so I've got a lot of experience that way. I've been a fire commissioner for 16 years. I know how commissions work and government works and open public meetings. I have attended the National Fire Academy and received training in financial management and strategic planning. All this is very valuable for Mason County, and I'd like to put that to work for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you again for everyone coming out tonight. My name is Ross Gallagher, and I'm asking for your vote so we can get Mason County back on track again. When my kids were growing up, I saw that their schools needed help. I volunteered to serve on the Shelton School Board, and in my 11 years on the school board, we balanced budgets, built new schools, and helped improve the lives of children across Mason County. Whether it's helping seniors, growing our local economy, investing in public safety, or protecting the things that make this place a very special place, we have to get things done by working together, everyone in Mason County. And that's exactly what I intend to do, being your next Mason County Commissioner. I'm looking forward to hearing your questions, and thank you for coming out tonight.
And good evening. My name is Terry Jeffries. I'm the last candidate here for District 3. I'm running for Mason County Commissioners because I believe there's a bright future ahead for Mason County, and I want to put my broad and comprehensive range of experiences to work in bringing the people together to build that future that we all want and deserve. My husband and I operate a water utility management business, Jeffries Management Services. I was the former director of the Shelton Mason County Chamber of Commerce, so I know the challenges that our local businesses have competing in this 3-county economic region. I have 10 years experience in both tax and fiscal policy and local government policy, working for the Association of Realtors, bringing people together with city councils and county commissions across the Olympic Peninsula regions to develop policies, to develop a high quality of life. I know how government's run, I know how it's funded, and I can hit the ground running when you elect me county commissioner. Thank you very much.
I'm Randy Churchill, and I am running for County Commissioner District 2. And I thank everybody for attending tonight. It shows me that you are interested in what's going on. My leadership skills come from my unselfish community involvement. When I was 28 years old, I was actually the charter president of Shelton JC's, Shelton Junior Chamber of Commerce. From there I went on to be president of Christmastown Kiwanis Club. I was co-founder and president of Save Our County's Kids Youth Center. I was co-founder and president of Crossroads Youth Center. So my community involvement there is where I want to be. I want to be involved with every one of you. Been born and raised here in Mason County, worked here all my life. My wife and I have been married for 24 years now. We own a small farm out at Skokomish Valley. We've got deep roots here. I love my community. I have a passion for this community, and I want to see it run right. I want to see everybody benefit from it. And I want to listen to the people of this county. I've got 28 years of real estate experience where I've mastered the art of compromise and negotiation. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Mark Corr, and I'm running for County Commissioner also. I've lived here the majority of my life, went through school here, see a lot of familiar faces out there in the audience. My wife Tracy and I have been married since 1989, and we have 2 boys that I'm extremely proud of. Skylar Corr and Hunter Corr. Skylar just graduated, and they're great kids. I could talk about them way more than a minute if I had the opportunity. But I'm running for county commissioner because I know I can get in there and I know I can make a difference. And a couple things that separate me from the other candidates that are out there is the fact that I've got over a decade experience working at Mason County and working directly with the county commissioners and with the in the boardroom and in charge of enforcing the ICC building regulations, the WAC, the RCW, the numerous codes that have to be interpreted. And I know that I'm the only candidate with that experience that's willing to give a full-time commitment. I can guarantee that, and I'm ready to hit the ground and go to work. Thank you very much.
I'm Rosalind Reed, and I'm running for Mason County Commissioner District 2. Thank you to our sponsors, and thank all of you for coming out, because that's very important that you participate in your government. I was born in Shelton in 1952 and spent all of my time, my education and work experience outside of the county, however. But when I retired in 1997 from the Federal Aviation Administration, I returned here and became a volunteer for a variety of community issues. I'm currently on the Hood Canal School Board. I've got 25 years of federal level experience, both administrative and management. And I think qualifications do count when we're talking about a public service job. So I look forward to your support, and thank you.
Good evening. I'm Tim Sheldon. I'm the only incumbent up here tonight. Just a couple observations. There's 14 candidates in running for county commissioner. That's the most of any county in the state. And obviously you want someone with experience and not just the ability to put up a lot of signs on the highway. I've voted on 22 state budgets and 7 county budgets, and those are over $60 million here at the county. Many of you are business people. I am too. I run my own family's business, as well as getting some top ratings from people for my business experience. I do have a degree in economics from the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania and a master's in business administration. We are facing a flat economy. There's no doubt about that. But even with that flat economy, since 2004, we've been able to increase the sheriff's budget 24%. And that's because we've right-sized the government. We've decreased the amount of employees we have. There's been a lot of consolidations, and maybe I can tell you a little bit more about that later when I have more time. Thank you.
Thank you all. Tim, since you have the microphone, we'll go ahead and have you field this question first. The question will, I'd like all of you to answer it. If you need it repeated, please just let me know. So with that, some 2 million people are coming to settle in the Puget Sound region by 2020, and Mason County may be altered considerably. What is your vision of our county as we accommodate exponential growth?
Well, thank you. 2 million people are coming. Mason County has grown quite fast. We're over 61,400 people right now. But you know, we're only one of 5 counties in the state with just one incorporated city. Of course, you have one because you need a county seat. Well, Grace Harbor has 9 incorporated cities, and there's 9 incorporated cities in Lewis County as well. We have lagged behind these other counties with developing our infrastructure. Because they had cities, they've had city councils, sewer systems, police forces, those things that have developed around their county. We have worked very hard with the sewer system. We have found 85% grant money for that sewer, which was mandated by the state. The county had no choice. We've put in water system that goes out now, a new water line to Johns Prairie. We've built a new public works building. I think we've done a lot of investing in Mason County infrastructure, which will serve us well in the years ahead. Those people that are coming will love Mason County just like we do.
Well, I think we do need to start from the real basics, which is to get organized as a commission. There are a lot of things that have happened, but I don't think they've happened in an organized fashion and with any thought. Some of it just sort of happens, and we do need a plan. We do need we need to be working with the other government entities, the port and the city, and including the people. I think everybody realizes that we do want to grow, but we've got some difficulties to get there. Tourism is a big item, and this is the only state in the union that does not fund tourism. That's a big item for us too. So we need to be looking at a variety of things to encourage people to come here, which means looking at our regulations and laws to make sure that they're compatible with businesses that don't just incarcerate and incinerate. And I think we can do better on that.
Well, first of all, I believe that I would follow that up with a question of my own, and if that is the number that they're looking at coming here, I would be curious to where they think these population growths are going to go to. Which counties? Is it going to be in the big three? Is it going to be focused more into Thurston or Grays Harbor? I would want to know a little bit more information so that I could be really prepared and actually do the research on the right answer. That being said, the next thing I would think about is jobs and living wage jobs right here, but development that's not going to take away the quality of life that's here that I've grown to love so much. I mean, I can tell you the history of many of the businesses that were here that are no longer here that I truly miss, and I just don't want to see the flavor of what we all enjoy of Mason County leave us, and that's where I would start. I would start with asking some questions to follow up on that.
Well, first off, I think that's an awful lot of people to come to this area, and if that is indeed true, then we have to look at it like partnershiping with every entity around all of our government departments, as well as the neighboring counties. We have to partnership with them too, and it's not just going to be our county alone standing here taking care of it, of course. So we need to partnership with them, reach out, talk with them, and have a plan intact so everybody can deal with this. It's a lot of population. Again, Mason County is one of the most beautiful counties around, and like Mark said, we want to see it stay that way. We want to see it be pristine, the waterways, and everything like that. So I think that we have our work cut out for us, but I'm sure that we can all do it. Thank you.
How a county grows, how a city grows is somewhat dictated by something called the State Washington Growth Management Act. That is the template. That is the guidelines that we need to follow behind. And what that says is that we want to encourage growth in our urban areas and discourage growth in our rural areas. Now, the Growth Management Act does have somewhat of a tension with rural communities in that people generally don't move out to a rural community in order to live in a city. So there are some unique things that we can do to accommodate that growth in a rural community while still maintaining the spirit of the Growth Management Act, one of them being a Plan Unit Development Code, where you do set aside some acreage for conservation within a housing development where you have more dense development. The other thing that we need to do is to make sure that we have our infrastructure in place, mostly transportation planning, because people don't really mind growth as long as they're not affected via transportation. So we have the roads widened enough and sized well enough and placed in the right places, we can take care of our growth in a very graceful manner.
Well, as the previous speaker mentioned, there's the Growth Management Act. But with that many people coming, I look for Belfair to become incorporated, and maybe down at Union. They'll probably have a sewer by that time. But you still have to manage the growth. You can't throw away the rules. That's why growth management came about. And with that, thank you.
One of the words in the question is vision. What is your vision? Part of my campaign and belief is that the vision is what drives us. We have to look to our ideal future and work towards it. So I do have a vision statement. It's more than a statement. I want Mason County to be a safe, clean, and healthy place to live for my children, grandchildren, and beyond. That statement is applicable to everybody in this county. What's good for my family is good for them. In order to accommodate this much growth, I believe we need to grow our infrastructure. We need to build it. In order to do that, we need to have a stimulated economy, and I believe we need to market Mason County to get that economy stimulated and get things moving here. Thank you.
Well, those numbers are pretty staggering, and let's all hope that it happens. First of all, you have to have the right people in place if this does happen. And starting with the county commissioners, this is the mainstay. This is the people that should be ready to make this happen. growth means jobs, and jobs means tax revenue. And if handled properly, the tax revenue will take care of itself. There is a surplus of funds in the budget now, and we are ready for a certain amount of growth right now. Mason County, I've been here all my life, and Mason County is different than Thurston County. Mason County is different than Kitsap County. We will grow, but we're going to grow slow. You see developments in other counties that just the houses are stacked in like cordwood. That has never happened here, and it's going to be slow growth. I think we will be able to prepare for this, but it takes the right people to be prepared for it.
2 million people is a pretty staggering number, and I personally find it pretty hard to believe because where are these 2 million people going to work? We're at a staggering unemployment right now, and we need to start ushering in businesses red carpet style if we want people to actually come and live here like that, and then they have to have jobs also. All right? So, you know, one of the things we could do right away is if there was that amount of people or any amount of people coming is we could start deregulating, you know, get government out of the business of picking winners and losers in our economy, start practicing sound economics, start practicing the free market. And as far as infrastructure, yes, we do have the Growth Management Act, but how's that working for us? It's part of the problem. It really is. It's gross, it's grotesque, it's disgusting. Thank you.
Well, I would turn the question around. You asked what was our vision. I would like to know what is yours. I think that it's important for us to have a shared idea of what kind of future do we want in this county. If we had a shared vision and some clear objectives about where we wanted to go forward and how we wanted to go forward, then we would be leading the development in the county instead of responding to it ipso facto when people show up on our doorstep. So I think we need to get on the solution side of problems. I think we need to have a vision of where we want our county to go and work together to get there. Thanks.
2 million. I'm on one of the things that I do is I'm the chair of the Mason County Planning Commission, and I can assure you at the moment they're not coming. There's nothing there. Very little in the way of growth is occurring right now in this county, and it's not getting any better. But let's just say it does happen. Let's say that it is a reality all of a sudden. One of the things that we're going to have to do is open the urban growth areas for what they were designed to do, which is to hold these people. As it stands now, we have a utility rate that's not even affordable for the regular person to use. They have to pay 3 times as much per gallon to use that sewer in Belfair as they do on the outlying areas. And there's still a moratorium, whether they like to call it or not. Putting in these little tanks that have to be pumped isn't even realistic. It's not going to be used. But if we want to protect what's dear to us, we have to open those UGAs. And I'd love to say that incorporation would be the great thing, but when you got 900 people living in Belfair and it takes 1,500 by law to incorporate, it isn't going to happen. And they have a committee telling them to look at opening the UGAs, making them bigger in incorporation. It's kind of a scam.
Thank you. Just for clarification, that we were projecting that some 2 million people in the greater Puget Sound area, not specific to Mason County. So, Randy, I'll go ahead and have you field this next question. Along the lines of the vision, economic stability in our county depends on attracting living wage jobs. In your opinion, what is the county's role in attracting private sector living wage jobs to our area?
The county plays a great role in attracting businesses to this area. I'm a port commissioner for the Port Allen. They give us a lot of education on what brings businesses in. People don't realize that number one is an educated workforce, but number two is the cost of utilities, and this is what keeps people out. We're paying 3 times more than our competition. That's going to hurt us with our ability to bring jobs here. But more than that, people don't realize we don't have the lands opened up and zoned in a way where they could be used. I'm on the board of directors also for the Economic Development Council. We have companies that are coming to us that are looking for 10 acres that have water, sewer, electricity, all the things that are needed in order to start a company. It doesn't exist. We don't have it to offer them. Now, if we don't have these lands to offer them, how do we expect to have them come in here and bring those jobs? Now, if we were to do some rezoning and look at stretching out some of these urban growth areas, if we were to look into 100-acre parcels, we'd be able to compete with the outlying counties like Thurston and stuff that don't even have that. They don't have that available. If we open this up to these businesses, they will come.
Thank you for the question. I think county government can make a difference in terms of solving the issue of how do we attract business, how we get business going here. I think it's at least three separate elements that have to come together in order for us to have effective growth, managed growth. One is that we have to have an educated population. I think we need to make sure that we have good schools. We do now. We need to continue to try to make them better. I think we need emphasis on science and technology and engineering and math in some frame. I think we need to have clear and understandable policies that are developed by the county and a one-stop shop where you can go and get the information you need, the permits you need, the licenses and so on to get a business started. I think we need to be realistic that we're looking at small business development. And I think the other thing we need to do is attract people who have an interest in the natural environment. Thank you.
How do we grow jobs? It's pretty simple. And Randy hit some pretty key points also. You know, we have the moratorium in Belfair, and we need to open that up because it's the gateway to the north, and we might as well hang a closed for business sign right over Belfair because that's what it is right now. If we get out of our current businesses' lives and out of their wallets and out of their employees' lives, then we could start growing business by deregulating. We could get some of the regulations out of the way and allow them to prosper. Right now, the county is treating business owners like aggressors. They're not aggressors. They're brave pioneers jumping into a new free market system to try to make their way and try to create jobs for other people. And I don't go between, well, should we have big business or small business, or should we have green business or dirty business? Business is business. The government should be out of the role, and we have to stop picking winners and losers.
Well, we do have to deal with the Growth Management Act. It is a statewide act, so we have to deal with it and kind of with kid gloves and work with the state. And again, I think all the counties should address the state to see if we get it changed. But more importantly, we're all in the same game. Every county is looking for the same thing we are. Every county, every city is looking to how can we build with more incentives or whatever to get more business. Incentives is one way that we can attract new businesses, offer them tax breaks or whatever. But the point I want to really stress on is we can't forget about the businesses that are already here. The businesses that are already here, the core, the mainstay of this county as it is right now. So we also need pass that savings on to them as well. Don't just offer incentives or whatever to new businesses. Offer to the existing businesses that are here. Maybe they can go out and hire another person or two, maybe another part-timer. Thank you.
I believe the county does have a function in attracting business to Mason County because the county depends on revenue to operate. And if we get more businesses, more jobs, we're going to have more revenue and be able to take care of the important things like safety and health that are really important to us. My notion of how we could do that is to hire a professional consultant to develop a marketing plan for Mason County and get the word out to businesses and tourists and people to see what Mason County does have to offer, because we have a lot of good stuff here. We need to build our infrastructure more, but to do that we need revenue. So I think a marketing plan that would be very important for us. Thank you.
Well, it comes back to education. Our schools here are very good, and we need to maintain them. People talk about jobs and people in their minds thinking of hundreds of jobs coming. I'd be perfectly satisfied if a company came and only offered 20 jobs. And then the talk of regulations, throwing regulations out. I'm sitting up here with 2 fire commissioners. And regulations help protect firemen coming into places. They got to know what's in that building. And I'm for helping the firemen. And that's all. Thank you.
So the question was, what is the county's role? Underneath it all is the land. Is the land ready to build? Is the infrastructure in place? What is going to attract a company to this community? Is the land zoned right? Is the infrastructure in place, or do they have to put it in themselves? Which will make a major piece of their decision. What can the county do to actually incentivize or encourage it? I think something called performance zoning, where you're not picking winners and losers on business development, but you say, of all these types of developments that can come in this area, let's do a programmatic environmental impact statement so that we can have one impact statement already done that covers all those different types of developments. Then that's another piece of the pie they don't have to pay for. What they're also looking for is quality of life, and that has a lot to do with what's available here in retail development. I think the county can also step out their normal role in this perspective and do a market analysis of what we can do retail-wise here. Thank you.
The county has the most important role in bringing in businesses. Let's face it, over 50% of our working population currently commutes out of the county to go to work. So we lose a vast amount of revenue. Our businesses lose revenue. We lose tax revenue. That's unacceptable. As a broker with 28 years experience, I can market. I can bring people in. I can talk to them. I can negotiate with them, compromise. And that's what it's about. It's about us, the community, inviting them in. We've got a wonderful county here. We invite them in. They see our county. We open that up for them. They want to live here, and we are more negotiable in what businesses come in. We can do that. We can create an environment where they want to work here, where they want to live here. Thank you very much.
Well, first of all, I think we need to take care of the businesses that are already here. There's business owners that have a vested interest. They're already here. They already have employees. We need to make sure that we keep their outgoing cash flow from just going through the roof where they start looking elsewhere. And I've actually talked to businesses that look into expanding, and it's expensive for them. Let's face it. We need to get away from that. We need to keep those here first. The next thing, I'm going to take a little bit different spin on it, but here's what I think. I think that if we make our neighborhoods safer, and what I mean by that is make it a better place where maybe it's more law enforcement, make it safer for these people. And, you know, the thing is, we got a beautiful area here. Businesses are going to come. We've got a huge influx of people coming in here every summer, and we've all seen it. Our population probably goes from 60,000 to well over 100,000. People know how nice it is in Mason County, and I guarantee you they're going to want to come and invest their money and put their place of business here, but they need to know that their summer homes are safe while they're gone too. Thank you.
I think we need to ensure that our policies and regulations are actually encourage businesses that would be compatible with our beautiful environment here. One other area that I think we need to put more time into is Olympic College. It's a jewel that we have in our community. I've worked on several of their work groups where they're trying to put curriculum together to make sure that people have the skills needed for the jobs that are coming. And I've not seen the commission there, so I would like to see more of that. And also the other government entities that I talked about before, make sure that we're pooling our resources and using them wisely by working with the port and the city and the tribes and others. So working together, it'll get us there.
Well, thank you. Attracting new businesses is a difficult thing to do. It's going to be small businesses. It's going to be won by personal visits, getting out of the office, talking to people. As we went down the line, I made a list of some of the companies that I personally worked with and helped create jobs here. Techwood, just outside of Shelton here, that's in value-added wood products. Ridge Motorsports, out by the landfills, just getting started. It's going to be an excellent company. Sims Manufacturing, Aero Controls that lands jets at the airport. hometown newspapers, Continental Floral in Belfair. A new one in Hoodsport is the Hardware Distillery. I've been there twice in the last week talking to the owner, working through permit issues. Mason County Forest Products out at the port. I'll give you a good example. You want to attract something you don't have. One thing we never had in Shelton years ago was an orthodontist. So we worked with the University of Washington, put out the word, tried to find some place, instead of moms taking their kids all the way to Olympia to get the braces tightened every day. Dr. Sapp moved over here. He's still here, and the kids are enjoying that, and people are working in that office.
Thank you, Tim. We'll have one more question, and then we'll take a short break. Tim, if you don't mind fielding this question first again. You may already know that a task force is recommending a new stormwater program, which would total just over $2 million annually. In the proposal, there are several proposals, but one is to fund it through a mix of septic fees, property taxes, vehicle license fees, and stormwater utility rates. Would you support such a program, and would you vote for additional taxes or fees to fund it?
Well, I've never believed that you raised taxes during a recession. President Kennedy didn't do that, and it worked out pretty well for our country then. When you look at this stormwater rules, read them carefully. It says that counties really are over 100,000 are in a particular category. We're well with under 100,000. We don't have any cities that are anywhere near that big. I think we can use our public works existing monies for doing projects like we've done in Belfair for stormwater and other projects here in the city of Shelton, which certainly will satisfy the state. We don't have a massive stormwater problem in Mason County. We have a lot of timberland that absorbs moisture. We have a lot of bays and rivers and obviously inlets that do it naturally. But I don't want to see us overreact to state regulations. We have to take it easy and try to do it the right way so that we don't overregulate business and that we obviously keep business here.
I agree that we don't have to overreact, but I think that one of the biggest problems we've had in the past is, as commissioners, we're not fully engaged in these processes. I am not completely familiar with this, but I have sat in on a work group that dealt with water quality issues, and I think we do have some serious problems here and there. So I would definitely want to take a strong look at it. As a taxpayer, I pay quite a bit in taxes, and I am not opposed to paying more taxes if it's spent wisely, and I would be very cautious about anything that we do raise taxes for.
I believe that if we can have a stormwater issue here. If you remember December 3rd of 2007, I believe the whole Tahuya end was on the news almost daily, and I know that Mason County Department of Community Development made over 600 site investigations due to stormwater damage, and I know that there was a home that had a slide above it that a gentleman passed away in. So there are stormwater issues. That being said, though, I worked on the stormwater committee up at Public Works once a week for a year, and it's like, okay, come on, let's do something. They were doing nothing. They were just talking about it, and I don't operate that way. I think you start something and you get to doing it, but each parcel shouldn't be looked at the same. There's parcels out there that don't create any damage, and there's actually a county ordinance. Well, it may not be an ordinance, but it actually requires the parcel owner to maintain their stormwater on their property. It can be handled fairly simple. We just got to start.
A lot of good comments here. But yeah, I personally don't support raising taxes at all. That takes away from our entire economy, takes away from the people being able to spend their money in this community, and it does not benefit anybody raising taxes. There has to be another way, and I say bringing in more revenue is probably our best option. Yeah, if the stormwater issues, and they need to be looked at, like Mark said, each individually, if they are there, then we need to deal with them in a proper manner. But again, raising taxes is going to just hurt our economy and hurt everybody at this time, so I would not agree with that.
You know, I called our Department of Environmental Health asking, what is the problem? What is our main source of the problem here? And I could not get a straight answer. And sometimes I feel like the science needs to catch up to the policy. I agree with Commissioner Sheldon that perhaps the policy around stormwater management was written for a different type of community. Until we know what we're trying to achieve here, I think we need to key back and identify how can we best address that problem. But if I can't get a straight answer from our environmental health department about what is the problem, I'm not willing to start charging taxes to fix a problem we don't really know what the reason is.
Well, I have personally worked on stormwater plans for Allen, UGA, Belfair UGA, and also the Hoodsport area. But the biggest polluter for stormwater is our highways, the runoff from the highways. But also the road tax that unincorporated Mason County pays, some of that money could go towards stormwater management, but not everybody lives in the UGA and all this. But I'd kind of like to see more rain gardens and have the property owner receive some kind of incentive for building and maintaining a rain garden.
Joan and I are currently building a brand new house, so we got to go through the building permit process and see how all that works. And one big component that we had to go through was counting up all the impervious surfaces, all the square feet in the driveway, and show the drainage and deal with the stormwater. It was a big part of this permit that stormwater has to be addressed and it has to stay on site and infiltrate back in. So I think we have a good system going as far as individual houses. Ross is correct when he says that roads are the biggest contributor to stormwater. They gather it and they concentrate it, and it's the concentrated flows that are the real problem for us. I know that Mason County on all their new projects is very carefully weighing stormwater issues and working to retain it. We need to expand that and retrofit some of our older roads so that it too will work that way. Thank you.
Well, my house is completed. We just built a new house about 1.5 years ago. And just to let the county know, we had a wonderful time working with the county in the permit process. Absolutely no glitches whatsoever. If the stormwater comes into effect, there shouldn't be any new taxes at all. That's what we've already paid for. Everybody here has already paid their fair share of taxes. This is something that is going to be into the future. We do have an $8 million surplus in our budget right now. So I really don't understand what the problem is as far as funding goes. If we have to search out and find another revenue, then we'll do that. But I think if we do have to do this, we'll be just fine. I don't think we have to worry about it. Take it on a one-on-one basis and call it good.
There's a lot of good points made up here. I think Senator Sheldon up there made a pretty good point that the state legislature said that the population only has to be 100,000 plus, and we're only around 60. And this is the type of knee-jerk reactions we keep having to state law and federal law, and we just want to have this ability to just comply right away when we didn't really need it in the first place. We don't need to raise taxes. I don't believe in raising taxes. You should keep as much as your hard-earned money as you possibly make, and then the only one that could create your own prosperity is you and not government. You spending your own money creates your own prosperity, and that's the only true free market stimulus package that there is. Also, yes, that's right. The roads are the major contributor, and but also, again, we have to look at each individual separately. We got to look at our priorities. Where do our priorities lay? Is stormwater a priority? And do we have the money? That could be seen later. But you know, we got to start looking at priorities.
Well, when I began to explore the issues that are associated with county government, one of them was the upcoming emphasis that is being placed on stormwater management. And there are a couple of things I want to say about it. First of all, there is no program in the county at the moment with Olympic College, which I think there should be, to train people in the whole management of stormwater. I think we could have an associate degree in stormwater management that would help us move through this period of developing our stormwater capacity. The other thing is I joined a colleague of mine who is with the Kitsap Home Builders Association, and they've been doing low-impact development, which is stormwater management, for quite some time. And I think the important thing to understand from their experience is that doing the job of creating a stormwater managed residence, for example, in the long term increases the value of the property.
Once again, I'm a port commissioner for the Port of Allen, and the Washington Port Association puts on a lot of workshops. And I take in as many of them as I possibly can. I try to learn as much as I can and bring it back to my community. Tim is right, 100,000. But guess what, folks? It's coming whether you like it or not. It's 100,000 today, but tomorrow it's going to be less. They're telling us that at the ports. We're having to prepare for it. You know, they're already working real hard to regulate water and rain barrels. What makes you think they're not coming at us? Now, the thing we have to bear in mind and remember, though, is there is monies out there available. We don't have to do taxation. There are monies available that we need to use them for the right purpose. I went and attended a meeting up in Mason County last year where there was a meeting paid for by grants asking us what we can do for our stormwater situation so we can go after more money for more grants. That's not how you spend your money. We have REIT funds, real estate excise tax that's supposed to go to infrastructure like 09 monies, but instead we're spending that infrastructure money on maintaining and operating the parks. We have to do the right thing with the money we have, and then we won't have an issue.
Thank you very much. With that, we'll go ahead and take a quick 5-minute break and reconvene shortly. Thank you.
And you are watching the Candidates Forum from Oakland Bay Junior High School. County Commissioner. Hold on.
In the check.
And we are waiting we'll take a quick break. We'll be back with more from Oakland Bay Junior High School.